The world woke up to shocking news when reports emerged that Ukraine had successfully launched a new, super missile, directly into the heart of Moscow. The devastating strike sent shockwaves across the globe, not only because of its destructive power but also because of the symbolic scene that followed. Vladimir Putin himself, the once feared Russian leader, spotted on his knees in desperation as the city around him burned. This single image, captured and spread rapidly across international media, has become a defining moment in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. According to military analysts, Ukraine's use of this advanced missile technology marks a turning point in the war. For months, Ukrainian forces had relied on Western-supplied systems like HIMARS and Storm Shadow missiles. But this new weapon, dubbed the super missile by Ukrainian officials, proved to be far more destructive. The projectile struck deep within Moscow's defense perimeter, bypassing Russia's anti-air systems, and detonated with incredible precision. The resulting explosion destroyed several government buildings, set entire districts ablaze, and crippled sections of the capital's infrastructure. The missile strike not only showcased Ukraine's growing military strength but also exposed the vulnerabilities of Russia's long-boasted defense shield. For ordinary Russians, who had been told repeatedly that Moscow was impenetrable, the attack was nothing short of a nightmare come true. Perhaps the most dramatic outcome of the strike was not the physical destruction but the psychological blow it delivered. Cameras captured an extraordinary scene: President Vladimir Putin kneeling on a ruined Moscow street, his hand clutching his forehead in despair. The man once portrayed as the iron-fisted ruler, feared across the world, now appeared broken and helpless. This image quickly spread across news networks and social media platforms worldwide. For Ukrainians, it became a powerful symbol of resistance, a message that even the mightiest adversary can be brought down. For Russians, however, the sight of their leader in such a vulnerable position raised serious doubts about the future of the war and the legitimacy of Putin's continued rule. The global response to the strike was immediate. Western leaders praised Ukraine's resilience, with many arguing that the strike was a justified act of self-defense after months of relentless Russian attacks on Ukrainian cities. NATO officials, while cautious, acknowledged that Ukraine's capabilities had expanded far beyond expectations. On the other hand, China, India, and several other nations called for restraint, warning that the conflict was now entering dangerously uncharted territory. The United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting, where heated debates broke out over whether Ukraine's strike crossed a line or whether it was Russia's invasion in the first place that had forced such escalation. Analysts believe this moment could mark the beginning of the end for Russia's military campaign in Ukraine. The psychological impact of Putin being seen on his knees cannot be overstated. His carefully crafted image of strength and control has been shattered, and with it, the confidence of many within his inner circle. Reports suggest that cracks are already forming inside the Kremlin. Some officials are said to be considering negotiations to end the war, while others fear that continued escalation could drag Russia into complete collapse. Meanwhile, Ukraine has gained newfound confidence, with President Volodymyr Zelensky vowing that his nation will not stop until every inch of Ukrainian territory is free. History is often defined by iconic moments. Images are events that capture the essence of an era. The photograph of Putin on his knees in Moscow, flames rising behind him, may very well be remembered as one such moment. It symbolizes the collapse of fear, the shifting tides of power, and the resilience of a smaller nation standing up to a larger aggressor. For ordinary people, whether in Kyiv, Moscow, or beyond, the missile strike has raised both hope and fear. Hope that the war could finally end, but fear of what escalation might come next. Could Russia retaliate with nuclear weapons? Could this trigger a wider war involving NATO? Or could it push both sides to finally sit at the negotiating table?